Hi guys, I look the same as I did in my last video because I am trying to get a couple of videos knocked out while my babies are both sleeping at the same time. I say babies. I have a 2.5-year-old Izzy that has some sleep issues that we're working on getting checked out, and a 3.5-month-old who sleeps pretty great, but I'm a mom of two. And you know what? I thought that having two babies, the work would just double. It like triples. Dog, I cannot explain how that happened. It feels like my workload has tripled as mom, okay? If you are new here, my name is Maddie. I am a newly 24, I don't feel 24, but newly 24-year-old stay-at-home mom to two little girls. He's my fiance, but I call him my husband. My husband is an RV tech. And we live in Texas. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about my opinions on breastfeeding products. And I recently made a post about this on my Instagram, and some of my mom friends disagreed with me. No, but this is just all going to be my opinions, and I'm going to talk about why I didn't like them, situations I think they would be useful in, why some other people like them, just giving y'all the lowdown, because life is expensive right now. And when I was expecting my first, I would get really stressed out thinking I had to buy all this stuff for my baby, all this stuff for breastfeeding. I can also make a video about like actual baby products you need versus stuff you don't. Again, it would just be my opinions. I recently got my hair cut and I need to wash it, so like ignore this. But yeah, I breastfed my first for 25 months and until I was 6 months pregnant, and I am currently 3.5 months into breastfeeding my second. And I am a stay-at-home mom, like I said, so I do exclusively breastfeed on demand, no bottles, no passies. Yeah, so a lot of you are already like scooting out because you're like, that's not feasible for me. Wait, I was also a milk donor, and I'm really passionate about breastfeeding. And I bought a bunch of shit for my first that I didn't need. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's just jump in. Nursing pads. I do use nursing pads and nursing bras. I do use the disposable ones because the reusable ones, here's the thing with the reusable nursing pads. Unless you are staying on top of your laundry, which like, look at me. They're going to get moldy. They're going to get moldy. I also don't feel like they're as absorbent as the disposable ones. The disposable ones also have sticky stuff on them. So like, I have an oversupply and my boobs do let down on their own, and you do need to keep them dry, but I get the Walmart ones and I feel like they work just as well as the Lancino ones, but I only need to use one pair a day. So if they feel wet, I'll maybe put in a second, but usually it's just one pair a day. And then at night, I just sleep in a t-shirt and make a mess. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the reusable ones. I do think you need disposable ones. I also like nursing bras. I have a mom friend that uses sports bras. I like the clippy ones. Opinions on nursing tops. I don't like them. One of my mom friends was like, I couldn't live without them. She is smaller chested, so she said when she tries to like put her shirt up, it would fall down. I don't have that problem. My shirt stays up. Or I just kind of like tuck it in my arm, I guess is kind of how I do it. But I hate nursing tops. I feel like it's more layers to get through. I don't like it. I don't like them. This one's going to be controversial. It is. This is everyone's preference, okay? So do not come at me. If you want to cover, I support you. But if you don't want to cover, bestie, you do not need to. I don't cover. I'll whip a titty out and feed my kid, okay? Like, you do not need to cover. And before y'all say some slick stuff in the comments, I'm feeding my baby. And I went off on this in my last video about my, like, I told my whole breastfeeding journey, basically. I went in depth with that. Do you want to go watch it? And like, my advice for breastfeeding moms. But yeah, breasts are literally for babies. Boobs are for babies. I made a shirt that says that, and you should check that out. Just saying, I designed some shirts. They're not like merch, like they don't say my name or anything. But I'm very passionate about breastfeeding, and it is biologically normal. It's biologically best. And I'm not saying formula is evil. Okay, I'm not saying that. I understand some women don't want to breastfeed, but to shame a woman for using her body what it's meant for is a wild concept to me. Just saying. Anyway, so I don't cover. You're legally protected in all 50 states. You don't need to. It's personal preference, but like I do not. Again, it's another step. This is my unprofessional opinion on supplements. Well, I mean, okay, listen, there is no research to back the lactation cookies, no, here's the thing. There is nothing that is going to magically increase your supply. You need to make sure you're getting in enough liquid. It doesn't have to be the body armors that everybody swears by. Drink water, babes. If you want some of that, fine. Drink some water. Make sure you're eating enough. Make sure you're getting in protein. Okay? I don't care if it's oatmeal or a steak. I don't care. Take your prenatal. That's it. That's the secret. That's the secret to breastfeeding. Now if you're deficient in something, take that. Like I am deficient in vitamin D. I'm gonna take it. You don't need all these magical supplements. I will say there's something I've seen, and it's like a holistic thing that I've seen a lot of women talk about. I can't think of it, and they like swear by it. And I think there might be some studies to back that up. I can't think of what it's called right now. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, them cookies are just expensive for no reason. Just saying. They ain't gonna do anything. What about nipple cream? I don't think you need it in most situations. Okay? With my first, when I was 20 weeks pregnant, like 21 weeks, my nipples cracked. Like I had started leaking milk at 20 weeks and they just like cracked, man. I don't know what happened. They got super dry. I did put nipple cream on them at that point. I didn't use it after she got here. I haven't used it with my second. The reason is, with my first, I got a little bit irritated. That first baby, like, they're not as rubbed in. This kid, my second, she could bite it off, and it's fine. Okay. But what I do, if they're feeling a little bit dry, a little bit irritated, cracked, whatever, I squeeze a little bit of milk out and rub it in. I don't want my baby sucking on some nipple cream. I understand if your nipples are really dry. I actually had one of my mom friends tell me, I have a lot of online mom friends like on TikTok, but she said that her nipples were so cracked and dry and like bleeding with her first that she had to get a prescription nipple cream. Obviously she needed a nipple cream. If you think you need one, get it. For me, it's a waste of money. I just use my milk. You know, breast milk is liquid gold, and everybody's putting it in their baths and they're rubbing it on their faces and stuff. Well, not everybody. Some people. Rub it on your nip. Rub it in. Let's talk about, there's like this ice pack product, and then there's cooling pads. I didn't need them. That was something I bought that I didn't need, but I can see the use for them. If you are someone, if you're a first-time mom, or it's your first time breastfeeding, the cooling pads that go on your nipples, I can see those being really soothing. I almost wish I would have had some with my first. Just like the first week was rough because I didn't have her latch deep enough for one night at the hospital, and it made my nipples really scabbed and like raw, which then I was just rubbing my milk into them, which I felt like helped a lot. And I kind of wish I would have had some cooling pads because I remember it hurt pretty bad. So I can see them being useful in that sense. I feel like those aren't too expensive. The actual reusable ice packs, I feel like, okay, maybe if you have clogged duct or juice squishies heat. If you're someone that breastfeeding is not very comfortable and you think that that would make it more comfortable, go for it. If you are about to be a first-time breastfeeding mom, maybe the cooling pads, I might recommend getting those if you can afford it. But the like cooling reusable ice packs, I don't think you need those. Okay, I think that everyone should learn to breastfeed in a carrier. I also talked about this in my last video. Let's talk baby wearing. We'll teach you how to do it. As your baby gets bigger, I make big babies, it becomes hard to hold them and breastfeed them. Okay? And being able to nurse them in a carrier makes it so much easier. Makes your life so much easier. It really does. It's a lifesaver. It's a game changer. I didn't really master it with Izzy. and I wish I would have. This time around, it has been a total game changer, and I love it. I really love it. Also, like, people assume since I breastfeed without a cover that I'm never nervous. And I see people giving me dirty looks. I just ignore it. But it does sometimes make me nervous. Like, I won't lie. Like, there are times where I'm like, damn, I really don't want to feed you right now. And you could be like, well, just put a cover on then in those situations. But, like, it's the principle for me. And it is a hill that I will die on. Also, that's another thing to keep in my diaper bag. And it's hot in Texas. I don't want to cover up. But that provides cover. I will say though that there was a woman that was like, your shirt's caught. It's like all of it on, like, and I was like, no, I'm feeding her. And they were like, oh, she's like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, I'm feeding her. That's why she's like way down here off to the side. Okay, lactation massager. I've never had one. People say that it helps with your supply. I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know if that's backed by science, to be honest with you. That's not something I have researched or looked into. If you have clogged ducts, I can see that being amazing. I can. I got one clogged duct with Izzy, and I had to like massage it with my hand. And yeah, but like I said, I only got one. They can be pretty pricey. I think that it's not a necessity, to be honest. If you want one, go for it if you can afford it. But if you're a mom, like, honestly, it would just be another thing for me to have like more clutter. I don't think I would use it. And then, okay, I want to talk about nursing pillows because I have some opinions on these. They're nice. The Boppy's nice. This time I have the My Breast Friend pillow. Like I said, I make big babies, and so we're to the point where, I mean, it's a nice. I use them a lot with Izzy, with my first, like, helping get that position in. Now, if it's within reach, I'll use it. If it's not, and I already have the baby and the toddler's asking me to open something, and I'm just, this baby's like starving because like they go from 0 to starving real fast, I'm not grabbing the fucking pillow. But like, they're nice, but they're not a necessity. I will say, if you are a first time breastfeeding mom, I would get one. I think they help a lot with positioning and making it more comfortable. They say to bring baby to your breast, and I feel like especially in those midnight feeds, it's easy to start hunching over, and then your back hurts and they're not latched properly, just because you're tired. Not that you're falling asleep, but you, like, are you really going to remember every little thing? No, like, get the pillow, sit up straight, bring your baby to your boob, and feed them. I do like the Boppy as well for tummy time and helping them learn to sit. The My Breast Friend is a little more expensive. Women rave about it. I found that at Goodwill. I like it. I get the appeal for it. I wouldn't buy one new. And I like that the Boppy has more uses, in my opinion. So yeah, that's something that you kind of got to decide for yourself. But yeah, that's my 2 cents there. And last, I want to talk about breast pumps and then manual pumps, all of that. I have never had the wearable pumps, so I can't give my 2 cents on that. I got the Spectra for free through my daughter's doctor's office. I was a milk donor. I really liked the Spectra. My favorite kind of breast pump, though, is the manual hand pump. I can't think of the brand right now because I'm exhausted. But Medela, the Medela hand pump. I've had the same one since I had Izzy. They brought it to me in the hospital. And I've replaced the parts on it as needed. It's super easy to wash, come apart. You need like to replace like 2 parts, 2 little plastic pieces sometimes. It's very comfortable. It's very easy to use. I get big letdowns with it. I like it. Now I understand if you're a mom that has to pump regularly, like for work, or you're an exclusive pumper, that is not going to work for you. But I would pump kind of to have it just in case. Izzy never took it, but sometimes I felt better leaving her with milk. If I was going to like run errands, she was eating solids, but if I was going to run errands, I felt better because you had the option, or to like make oatmeal, things like that. I would use my milk instead of cow's milk for a long time. And even recently, like Izzy got sick, and so I pumped her some milk. It's not weird. Y'all drink cow's milk. Don't even, like, it's made for my babies. She was sick and got pretty dehydrated, so I gave her some of my milk. She knew it was my milk too. She watched me pump it and she drank it. And recently we tried to give Kennedy a bottle. My mom did for me. And Kennedy didn't drink it. She didn't want it. So Izzy drank it. It's milk. So I think that every mama should have a little hand pump, especially even if you're exclusively breastfeeding on demand. It's useful. There will come a time where you will probably be like, damn, I wish I had one. I don't love the Haka. Unpopular opinion. That's something I didn't have on my list. I don't love it. It's not very comfortable for me. Like, I feel like I can't get it on right. I think my nipples are too big. I really think that's what it is. And I don't know if they make them with bigger openings. I don't like it. I just don't like the Haka. But if you like the Haka, if you're going to be a first-time mom, like, they have cheap knockoff Hakas. That's what I used with my first. I didn't really mind it with my first. I don't know what's going on this time. But I would recommend that, I think, over a manual pump and then a manual. And then, obviously, if you're going to be working or exclusively pumping, you need a good breast pump. But yeah, this was just my opinions on some nursing products. There is a lot of stuff out there on the market that they're going to try to sell you because it's a market. It's a profitable market. Babies are a very profitable market. I don't think all these companies are evil. Like I said, like most of these things, I can see a reason that they exist. But I also want to say that if you are going to be a breastfeeding mom, you don't need to panic and be like, oh my God, I need all of this stuff to be successful, because you really don't. There are things that are going to make it easier. But you don't need to run out and buy every single breastfeeding gadget out there. I did use nipple shields with my first. And the reason that I didn't talk about those and give my opinion is because I think nipple shields are awesome, but I also think that not everyone is going to need them. I don't want to say most. I have flat nipples, and my nipples were not forming. I have big flat nipples, and they weren't forming for my daughter to latch. So for 4 months, I had to use nipple shields. I was directed by the lactation consultants on how to use them. I was directed to use them, how to use them, and what size to get. And I think that that is an important conversation to be had. And then how to properly latch your baby with the nipple shield. Because I see a lot of women, I've seen women on like TikTok, first-time moms, just buying nipple shields. And if you don't need them, it's an extra step. I did not need them with my second. I think my nipples got the memo of like, we need to become a little pointy. But I used them for 4 months and then I was done. It was a pain in the butt to carry them around, and it was a whole thing. So that's something you'll be told if they have a lactation consultant at your hospital if you need them, and they should have them. If you are extremely worried, they are pretty inexpensive, but you need to know what size to get. And that's another reason lactation consultants are incredibly important, is to make sure you're getting the right size of things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want more content from me. Like I said, I've made a couple shirts for breastfeeding moms. And if you want to check those out, they are going to be the link to my shop will be down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!